Oh yeah, it's double organic.
Hey all, got a quick video here on food combining. Is it fact or fiction? The too long didn't watch is basically it's BS. There's no evidence for food combining. If you're not sure what this food combining thing is, well, I'm going to explain it right now. Basically, it is an Ayurvedic practice. Ayurvedic medicine is very, very old, and very old things we didn't know much back then. Not much evidence for that. So basically, you can find food combining charts online, and it says don't combine protein with fat, or don't combine protein with carbohydrates. There are some things that you can combine that are, they're okay, but basically it's a little bit convoluted, kind of tricky to follow, and it might just confuse people or stress them out, making them think like, oh, I can't combine this and this, and but if I eat that, I'm gonna have a stomach ache. It's not gonna digest well. I'm not gonna get the nutrients from it. And we don't need to be stressing people out when it comes to food, because eating food should be relaxing. You want to be relaxed when you're eating. When you're exercising, 80% of your blood supply goes to the muscles, so that's not a good time to eat. We want to be relaxed when we're eating, not all stressed out. That's the best time to eat, to just be relaxed and chew your food well, and then it's probably going to digest well. Now, there might be some sensitivities that people have, things that people need to avoid, but food combining, no evidence. There was one study done on it that I found. It's not something that's highly researched because research costs a lot of money, so who's going to fund a study if finding that answer is not really worthwhile? Why answer a question if it's not going to really solve anything? We've got more important questions to answer. So one study was done on food combining. There were two groups. The group just eating whatever, and then you had the group that was eating with the food combining, rule set. Both groups were eating 1,100 calories. Both groups lost weight, and both groups had no difference in digestion. Now, we could say, well, what is good digestion? A lot of people, I could ask, hey, do you have good digestion? And they're like, oh yeah, no problem. And they're burping and farting, and they haven't taken a dump in 2 or 3 days. They're constipated, they're backed up. And they might say, oh yeah, my digestion is great. So that's one thing to always consider is you ask people like, how are they feeling, how are they doing, how's your diet, and everyone just says, oh, it's great, everything's peachy keen. So if you're not having several poops per day, you might want to up that fiber and hydration. So every food that we eat has protein, carbohydrate, and fat in it, and so you can't avoid one thing or another. If there's only certain things that are going to combine well based on the food combining principles on the charts, everything has protein, carbohydrate, and fat in it in different quantities. Oftentimes we think like, oh, things that have a lot of protein and a lot of carbohydrate, meat and potatoes, or a hamburger where you've got the meat in the bun, those don't digest well because you've got protein and carbohydrate, but really it's not digesting well because, well, it's meat and we're not supposed to be eating meat. Look at these teeth. These are vegetable eating teeth. A chickpea, for example, like 68% carbohydrate, 19% protein, and then the remainder is fat. So it's kind of got all three. Digests wonderfully. Chickpeas are great. And then you've got tofu, 50% protein, 40% fat, and 10% carbs. So another sort of mixed food, digests just wonderfully. And then if you were to have meat and potatoes, it's going to be a similar percentage of, a decent amount of protein, decent amount of carbohydrate, decent amount of fat. But that oftentimes doesn't digest so well because, well, we're not really meant to eat meat. Some people digest meat okay, but when we could be eating plants and getting all of our nutrients that way. Why not do that instead? So basically, food combining, bullshit. Actually, it's good to do food combining. Think about it this way. If you're consuming iron along with vitamin C, we absorb the iron better, so it's actually good to combine foods. Vitamin A, fat-soluble, the fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K, and if we're consuming vitamin A or any fat-soluble vitamin along with fat, well then we absorb it that much better. So maybe we should actually be doing food combining instead of avoiding it. So eat a variety of foods, be relaxed, chew it well, and get those fruits, veggies, grains, beans, nuts, and seeds in your body. Another thing worth saying that I forgot to add is that if we eat pure sugar, our body still releases the enzymes to digest protein and fat. So whatever we put in our body, the body's like, I'm ready to take it on. It doesn't matter what you eat, the body's going to digest it. I think that's all there is to really say about food combining. There's no evidence for it. I've done it in the past, and it's easy for someone to hear about it and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, I should be doing that. But the reality is, there's no evidence for it, and don't get duped into doing that. So remember, get the 6 aspects of health every single day: earth, air, fire, water, work, rest. Earth, aspect of eating and nutrition. So let's eat those nutritious foods and don't worry about the food combining, because there's no evidence for it. Alright, catch you next video. See ya. Whoa, look at all those recipes. Those look tasty. Give me some of that.